Good morning, yogis. Had another request for a yoga sculpt class, so we'll get right to it this morning, or whatever time you're practicing. For today's practice, all you need are 2 weights, preferably less than 5 pounds. I like to stick around 2 to 3 pounds. If you don't have weights handy, you can use cans of food, water bottles, anything at all. If you like to have music as you practice, our playlist is called At the Mercy of the Waves. And so that we're on the same page, let's start in 3, 2, 1. And as you come to your mat today, we'll begin in Virasana or Hero's Pose. So bringing your shins either to touch or about hips width distance, simply sitting back onto your heels. If this is too much for you, you're welcome to come into a traditional Sukhasana or easy seat. And as you find yourself on your mat, know that your mat is your sacred space. When you're on your mat, let's focus on the present moment, not what's to come or what's happened in the past. Just really use your mat as your temple. And when you come to your temple, you focus on you, yourself only. Gently sway your hips side to side on your heels, opening up a little movement in your thighs, rolling out the tops of your feet as you rotate from left to right. And then as you come to center, ground yourself there. Making this pose active, actively press your shins into your mat so that you could let your hips hover over your heels. Awaken your thighs. Then keep that engagement as you gently allow your glutes to land on the back of your heels. Bringing your palms to your thighs or backs of hands to your thighs. Taking a few shoulder rolls. If you're practicing like me in the morning, your body is naturally stiffer early on before you've gotten the chance to move it and loosen it up. So just notice what time of day you're practicing. Later in the day, you generally have more space, more flexibility. Reverse the direction of your shoulders. One more. Inhale, reach your arms overhead. Watch your fingertips kiss at the top. Exhale, hands come through heart center. With your hands in heart center, press your thumb knuckles into your ribs or your chest. Gently tuck your chin, lean your head back, release your tongue from the roof of your mouth, and close your eyes. When we come to our mat, we often think of a dedication, a mantra, or a reason why you came here. If there's something that automatically comes to your mind, stick with that. However, if nothing naturally comes to your mind, you may choose to take on my mantra for the day. My mantra is simple: let yourself play. I chose this mantra, let yourself play, because so often when we're younger, we're encouraged to play. That's how we learn, that's how we make friends, that's how we view the world, through play. And as we get older, we lose a little bit of that playfulness. Sometimes. Some of us never grow up. At any rate, keeping that playfulness in your heart as you go through your day. You might notice that your interactions with other people can shift. Your feelings about certain things can shift in a positive way. And especially as you're on your mat, allow yourself to play and not take yourself too seriously. This Power Sculpt class can be a good challenge. And sometimes we get in our heads and think, oh, I'm not doing this pose, it doesn't look like this person, or this doesn't work for my body. And we start to have this internal monologue that is not beneficial at all. So today, if possible, as we go through class, do it in a playful manner and think of it as an hour of playtime. This is your adult recess. Inhale, reach arms overhead. As you exhale, drop your right hand outside of your right hip. Reach your left arm up and over. Press your left hip into your left heel to create more depth in your left side body. Drop your left hand between your right hand and knee. Feel the space between your left scapula and right. Then inhale, arc up and over with that left hand reaching behind you. Inhale, left fingertips arc like a rainbow. Land your left fingertips between your right hand and right knee. Then come back up and around. Watching your fingers as you move. Let's do 2 more like this. Just starting to wake up your shoulders. Moving extra slow so that you can feel every little fiber along the way. You might notice, oh, my chest is a little tight today. Or my shoulder's feeling good. Inhale, both arms overhead. As you exhale, reach your left fingertips forward, right fingertips back, a seated twist. Tuck your belly to your spine as you inhale. And exhale, twist a little deeper towards the right. Great, 1 more like that. Inhale, tuck your belly to your spine, naturally lift your chest. Exhale, twist a little deeper. Next time you naturally inhale, reach both arms overhead. And exhale, drops your left hand outside of your left hip. Reach up with your right hand, send your right hip firmly on your right heel, and then your right fingertips can reach over towards the left. Your left hand can be firmly down, or you can be on fingertips, whatever feels more comfortable for you. And try to shine your heart forward rather than caving your chest down. Inhale, reach your right fingertips between your left hand and left knee. Pause there and feel the stretch behind your right shoulder blade, that scapula. Feel the twist in your lower abs and spine. And then inhale, arc that right arm up and over, reach behind you. Pausing here, feel the stretch across your right chest, or right side of chest. Inhale, arc up and over. Exhale. And inhale, we come back. 2 more on your own. Moving slower than you think you should. Feel everything along the way. Next time you inhale, reach both arms up. And exhale, open arm twist towards the left. Right fingertips reach forward, left fingertips reach behind you. Actively reach your fingers in opposite directions. Create space between your shoulder blades. Open your heart. Inhale allows you to lengthen your spine, get a little bit taller. As you exhale, we can twist a little bit deeper. Next time you naturally inhale, reach both arms overhead. And exhale, plant your hands down, tabletop position. We did this a few classes ago. We're going to move through cat and table. We're going to skip the cow for now. We'll come back to that in a little bit. Continuing to isolate the space between your shoulders as you exhale, tuck your belly in, round your back like you are an angry cat. Drop your chin towards your chest, linger here. As you're in this cat, spread your fingers wide. Put a little more weight into your thumb and pointer finger. And then actively press the pads of your fingers onto your mat. Lift your middle knuckle. Imagining you're a gecko and you're pulling your fingertips towards your core. If you pull your fingertips towards your core, isogenically, so that's an invisible movement, an energetic movement, your core automatically turns on. And so when you're in table or plank or down dog or any time you have your hands on the earth, your core is engaged. And let's not forget about those shoulders. Straighten your arms. You have a protraction of your back, a rounding of your back, but drop your shoulders to your hips. So keeping that protracted roundedness, but dropping your shoulders down so that you don't have earmuffs, aka tension in your neck. Come through neutral, tabletop. Exhale, cat pose. Moving with your breath now. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, cat. Keep on doing these at your own pace. I'm going to tell you why we're not going into the cow. We're trying to isolate strong fingers. We'll need those later. And open up your shoulders. Also, when we do yoga sculpt classes, our core should be more engaged than usual or actively engaged throughout class. When you go into cow, you naturally release your belly to stretch. So by stopping in that cat tabletop motion, it's keeping your core engaged the whole time. I'm sneaking in some ab work. 2 more breaths like this. When you're in this cat pose, it should feel like a nice stretch along the sides of your neck. Coming into a neutral tabletop, tuck your toes under, lift your knees to hover. You're going to lift your left heel, drop it. Lift your right, drop. Left foot lifts, drop. Right foot lifts, drop. Keep on doing this at your own pace. Start to fire up your quads. We'll use those in our standing asanas. Keep your toes tucked, both feet on the ground. Drop your knees. Sit back onto your heels, kind of like how we started class, but your toes are tucked under this time. Look back and spread all 10 toes apart, making sure that your pinky toe is pressing into the earth as well. If possible, your heels are touching or close towards each other. This toes pose, stretching out the sole of your feet. Keeping yourself in toes pose, interlace your hands at your lower back. Roll your shoulders up, behind you and down, then start to straighten your arms. You might hear a crack as you do so. 3 rounds of breath here. If you can control your breath, you can control your mind. Inhale. Now as you exhale, come into tabletop position, untuck your toes, pitter-patter your feet. Dropping into cow pose as you inhale, belly drops, heart lifts up. Your shoulders are pressing together and down your back. And come through your cat. Make a few rounds of cow-cat. Maybe you even move into some side-to-side flexion or making figure eights. Pausing in neutral here. Extend your right leg back. Toes will be tucked. Left fingertips reach forward, fingertips on the earth. So your left palm is facing the right side of your mat. Your thumb is on top. Tuck your core. Have an anterior tilt of your pelvis like you're trying to scoop your pelvis under. Inhale, lift your left arm and right leg. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Few more like this. Maybe not coming up as high as you normally would in a spinal balance. We're not trying to overarch our low back. We're trying to work into our core, into your right arm. And if you're actively extending that right leg long, you should start to feel your hamstring, the back of your right thigh, beginning to speak to you or fire up. Hold it up. Next time you're there, pulse for 8. Pausing. Exhale, elbow to knee, extend. Elbow to knee, extend. 6 more like that. I know it's not very yoga-esque to count down, but I like to let you know how far we're going in this so you can give it your all. 3, 2, 1. Release hand and knee down. Wag your tail left and right like you're a happy dog. And then extend your left leg long. Tuck those left toes. Right fingertips reach forward. Thumb on top. Before we begin, tuck that belly in. Press really firmly into that left hand. Have a micro bend in your left elbow. When ready, lift right hand, left leg up and lower. Lift and lower. So when that right arm lifts, you're reaching your fingertips away from you. Strong right arm. Your left leg is completely active. Flexing or pointing your foot. I prefer a flexed foot, but pointing works as well too. Next time you're up, we'll hold it here. We'll begin to pulse for 8. Don't let your lower back do the work. Try to use your glutes to lift your leg, your shoulder to lift your arm, and your core holds you stable. Exhale, tap that elbow towards your knee and extend. Tap, extend. So you're in that cat-like pose as you tap your elbow towards your knee. Rounding your back gives you a little bit more space. 2 more. And dropping down. It's time to tuck your toes, come into downward facing dog. Probably shorter than usual if you are coming from tabletop. Bend into one knee. And then switch. Taking any movements that you need or going through any mental checklists as you approach this first down dog. I typically do a body scan where my fingers spread wide by putting more weight into my finger pads than anything else. Could you slide a credit card underneath my wrist? It tells me that I'm not putting too much weight in my wrist. Usually send my elbows out to the sides and then suck them under as if I'm trying to point the pointy part of my elbow towards the earth. Drop my chin. Send my booty in the air and start to straighten legs. Walk your fingertips back towards your toes. Moving into a ragdoll pose. First ragdoll of the day, you're probably tight. Heel to your feet about as wide as your mat, taking an extra wide ragdoll. Then release your head down to the earth. Sway side to side, keep a bend in your knees, and grab for opposite elbow. So this purpose of our forward fold, our ragdoll, is to lengthen the muscles along your back. You'll naturally feel a stretch along the backs of your legs, but try to focus more on releasing your back. Shake your head yes and no. Open mouth, exhale, let go of any stagnant air. Bring your hands down, turn your toes out, heels stay exactly where they are. Drop your hips down, you are in a Malasana Yogi squat. Few options here, you could place your elbows on top of your thighs, or you could sink down, press your elbows onto the inner side of your knee. If you do that, hands can come into prayer. Depress your shoulders and sway side to side. This is a great hip opener, grounding pose. Come back to your intention of being playful, maybe taking some playful movements here. Maybe making a silly face. One more round of breath. And exhale, place your hands on the earth, send your hips up, heel toe your feet. Hips width distance or touching. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, lengthen your spine. Fingertips can be on the earth or on your shins. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, slowly roll up vertebrae by vertebrae. Arms are heavy. When you get upright, reach those arms overhead. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Close your eyes, settle into this mountain pose. Inhale, arms reach overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Walk your hands out to a high plank. Listen up for the change. Inhale, glide forward. Exhale, knees can stay up or down as you lower halfway. Come right back up. Yogi push-up. Downward facing dog as you exhale. And walk your fingertips back to your toes. Inhale, we look halfway up. Exhale, we release. Rise up slowly with control. Arms reach up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach arms high. Exhale, forward fold. Walk your hands out to a plank, shoulder width distance. Take that half push-up, elbows are tucking close towards your core. Hold here. Notice how this feels. This is what you will feel like in the arm balance. Press yourself back up. Go to downward facing dog as you exhale. As you exhale, say H-A-Ha. Walk your hands back to your toes. We'll do one more like that before we begin to flow. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, surrender to the earth. Root your feet down, slowly rise up. Arms come along for the ride, watch them kiss at the top. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, we rise like the sun. Exhale, we set like the sun. Forward fold. Walk yourself out to a high plank. Take your push-up, hold here. Roll your shoulders back. Tell yourself, yes, I can. Playfully push yourself up to plank. And then downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg high. Exhale, right knee, right elbow. Inhale, reach that right leg high. Exhale, cross that right knee over to your left. Inhale, lift. Exhale, knee to nose, hold here. Puff up your shoulders, create space so that when you step that right foot down, it is silent. Drop your back knee, untuck your toes. Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Take some rolls of your arms. Interlace your hands at your low back. Inhale, reaches your arms down that left leg, open up your heart. Inhale, unwind, reach arms overhead. Exhale, Ardha Hanuman, half split. You want to keep your hips high, not dropping them down. Keep your hips lifted. You can extend your right leg a few inches in front of you. Press that right heel into the earth and imagine you're scuffing gum off your heel. You're trying to send that right heel back to your glute, but you're pressing so actively into the earth, it's not moving. This isogenic movement will open up and turn on the backs of your legs. Point your toes towards your face. Hands can be on either side of that right leg and drop your shoulders. Walk your hands forward. Place that right foot on the earth. Tuck your left toes under, lift your left knee, reach up for crescent lunge. Left hip comes forward, right hip comes back. Taking a few of those shoulder rolls. Next time your arms are reaching back behind you, interlace them the opposite way. You'll know because it will feel unnatural. Inhale, lengthen your arms down your legs. You can keep your left heel up or you can come into warrior one by dropping your left heel down, yogi's choice. As we exhale, we forward fold inside that right leg for humble warrior or humble crescent. You're active, active, active in your legs as you surrender your upper body. One more inhale. Exhale, release your hands to frame your right foot. Step your left foot up about a foot. Straighten your right leg. Pyramid pose. A pyramid pose, you might be on your fingertips. Send your right hip, tuck your right hip underneath, and your hip goes back. You can actively adjust or manually adjust yourself, turning that hip under and back. And then press through the ball mound of your right foot as if you were accelerating a car. You can have your head lifted or start to surrender it down, reaching your nose towards your shin. Bend into your right knee, send that left leg back so that you're in a low lunge. Hands are firmly on the earth. Press so firmly into your hands, you puff up your back. Lift that right leg without a sound, send it back to down dog. You can choose to take a chaturanga, that high to low push-up, or you can stay in down dog. If you're with me and craving a little bit of upper body work, inhale, roll forward to a plank. Exhale, come halfway down. Come onto the tops of your feet. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts high. Exhale, left knee, left elbow, hold. Yes, you can. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, left knee, right elbow. Inhale, high. Exhale, left knee to nose. Really puff up those shoulders. Place your foot down silently. Drop your right knee, untuck your right toes, reach up, Anjaneyasana. Take a few circles. Interlace your hands at your low back. Either come on top, we'll do both. Then extend your arms as you press your shoulder blades together. Imagining I'm putting your favorite lip gloss between your shoulder blades and you're trying to hold it there, because as soon as COVID's over, we're not going to be in masks. We need lip gloss again. Unwind your hands. Place your hands on either side of your left foot. Extend your left leg long. Maybe walking your left fingertips back. Keeping your right hip stacked over your knee, you might choose to send your left leg forward a few inches to deepen the stretch. This Ardha Hanuman half split is opening up the back of your left leg. Now, for those of you that are interested in ever coming into a full split or just deepening this, the best practice is to turn your toes, flex your foot, turn your toes towards your face. Press left heel into the earth, send it back. Press right knee into the earth, send it forward. So you're trying to squeeze those together energetically. Again, very minimal movement, it's more of that sensation. Relax your shoulders, remove your tongue from the roof of your mouth. Place your left foot on the earth, walk your hands forward, bend your left knee. Tuck your right toes under, rise up for crescent lunge. Drop your shoulders, reach your fingers up, especially your thumb and your pointer. Now, if you liked taking that fold with your right heel down, you would come into warrior one legs, meaning your right toes are pointing to the right top corner of your mat, right heel on the earth. This can be challenging if you have tight hips. I prefer to do it in a crescent. Interlace your hands at your low back. Take the opposite grip, that funky grip. Reach your arms long, open your chest. Hold on to that lip gloss. Keep that length as you fold inside the left leg. Inhale. Exhale, place your hands on either side of your left leg. Step that right foot up about a foot. Turn your right toes to the right corner of your mat. Drop that foot. You're in pyramid pose. Maybe you come up and place hands on hips, leaning, hinging forward. With your hands on your hips, send your left hip back, right hip forward. Tuck your left booty underneath you. Keep the integrity of your lower body as you begin to forward fold. Inhale, look halfway up. Exhale, walk your hands over towards the right, coming into Prasarita, a shortened stance. So your heels are slightly out, toes in, you're halfway lifted. Exhale, forward fold. Sway your hips left and right. Maybe placing your hands on your legs or your ankles. Put more weight into your toe mounds as you hinge forward. If you need some activation in your arms, you will press yourself forward as if you're trying to fold yourself in half. As you do so, your elbows will naturally bend. You're working into your biceps. This is a weird cue, but spread your glutes, your butt cheeks, and that will help tip you a little bit forward. Hands come to hips. Inhale, rise up. Turn your heels in, toes out, sink down into horse pose. Hands can come to heart center as you drop your hips. Tuck your tailbone under like you're a dog that just got caught eating your owner's food. Sink down. You should feel your inner thighs speaking to you. Lift your toes, wiggle them, and drop them down. Pulse for 8. Lift your right heel, pulse for 8. Drop your right heel, lift your left, pulse for 8. Lift both heels, pulse it, drop those hips. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Inhale, burst up, star pose. Exhale, pivot, drop your hands down. Step that left leg back to meet your right. Chaturanga or not will meet in downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg high. Exhale, step your right foot between your hands. We're going to move with breath here. Drop your left knee, rise up. Anjaneyasana. Take a few circles of your arms. Interlace your hands at your low back. Extend them. Exhale, forward fold. Woo, it's a little bit wobbly when you fold with that knee down. Place your hands by your right foot. Extend that right leg long. Inhale, come up, crescent lunge. Interlace your hands. Inhale, lengthen your arms. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up, straighten that right leg. Step your left foot forward. Hinge forward. Drop down, pyramid pose. Rebend into that right knee. Step your left foot back. Hands frame right foot. Send that right leg back. Keep it hovered. Ekapada chaturanga. Right leg is lifted as you take that high to low push-up. Both feet land on the earth as you come to up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, left foot steps, right knee drops. Inhale, arms reach high. Circle out your arms. Next time your arms are behind you, interlace. Inhale, lengthen arms, open chest. Exhale, fold in. Have some humility, humbleness. Inhale, arms unwind. Straighten your left leg, Ardha Hanuman. Place left foot down, tuck right toes under, rise up, crescent. Circle up, arms. Interlace and fold. Straighten left leg, step right foot up. Reach and fold, pyramid pose. Inhale, look halfway up, walk to Prasarita, towards the right. Exhale, hands are under your shoulders, forward fold. More weight in your heels. Inhale, look halfway up, pivot your heels in, toes out. Sink your hips back, come up through horse pose and pulse. So flow sculpt, we start slow, we do that flow, and then we move with breath, which is what we're doing now. Hold it at the bottom. Lift your right heel and pulse. After we move with breath, we pick up weights. We do the same thing with weights, holding the poses longer. Drop right heel, lift left. So we know where we're going. Next time we'll just have weights in our hands, lingering for a little bit. Lift both heels and pulse. Maybe your hands come in a mudra. Touch your Point your finger to your thumb gently. Hold this squat, maybe you sway side to side. Feel the burn in your thighs. Be playful. Inhale, star pose. Listen up for the change. Exhale, hands come to your hips. Pivot your toes forward. Step into chair. Sink down. Forward fold. Inhale, look halfway up. Exhale, place your hands down. As you hop back, land in your low push-up. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Be purposeful with your breath here. Fill up on all the good energy of everyone taking this video, practicing with you. Exhale, send your good vibes to everyone else. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, step it through, drop your left knee. Grab your weights as you rise up. Starting simple, biceps. Arms are going to reach forward, roll your shoulders. Instead of having your elbows by your hips, extend them to about a 45-degree angle so your biceps are constantly on. From here we bend, straighten, bend, straighten. Moving at your own pace, typically slower you go becomes more challenging, but if you have extra energy to burn off, go quicker. Pause at center, bring hands to heart. Elbows are now at 90-degree angles. Lift, lower. So you're keeping a 90-degree angle the whole time. Isolate this movement into your shoulders. If you want to add on, as you lift up, you can punch forward, come back, lower. Lift, out, in, lower. Just an added bonus, getting into your biceps a bit more. So with your heart rate already up from doing some flow, when we pick up the weight, you're burning maximum calories. 2 more. Hands come to heart center, straighten your right leg, stay up for a bit. If you don't feel stable, this is where you remain. If you are feeling stable, hinge your upper body forward, but not so forward like you would in Ardha Hanuman. Tricep kickbacks. I'm going to reach your arms towards your right toes. Bend your elbows and extend your arms behind you. Forward, bend, extend, bend. Try not to have the depth grip on your weights or whatever you're holding onto. That just creates tension that travels up to your shoulders and your neck and your jaw. Try to have a loose grip. Next time your arms are back, keep them there, pulse for 8. Inhale, hands to heart center. Rebend that right knee, tuck your left toes under, lift up for crescent. Keep that hinge in your torso. We're taking reverse flies. Lift, lower. Getting into your back. Squeeze your shoulders together at the top. Release your tongue from the roof of your mouth. Now I want you to try something totally crazy. Smile. Aha, playful. Inhale, hands come to heart center. Come through your crescent lunge. Straighten your right leg, step your left foot in. Take the heads of your weights as you forward fold. You're using those to assist you in the fold. Taking a quick, brief time out. This is where that interval style comes in. We work, we pause, we work, we pause. Inhale, look halfway up. Place your weights to frame your mat. Rebend your right leg. Press your hands into the earth. Step your right leg back. Let it hover. Pulse your right leg for 8. Hold. Tap right knee to right elbow. Extend. Tap. Extend. Getting into your obliques, your transverse abs. 4 more here. Next time your right leg is out, keep it there. Take your chaturanga. Downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, step it through. Drop back knee. Take your weights. Come up through Anjaneyasana. Beginning just like we did on the other side. Bicep curls. Because you're focusing on your upper body does not mean you can let your lower body become lazy. Be active. Press left foot towards right knee. Engage your left glute. Trying something different. Turn your palms in towards each other, taking hammer curls. Notice how my hammer curls aren't dropping down to my hips though. We're keeping that extension, keeping your muscles engaged the entire time. So you extend, tap the weight to your shoulders, and extend. Are you breathing? Is your core engaged? Okay, come hands through heart center. Straighten your left leg. The more active you are with that left heel on the earth, the easier it will be for you to stabilize. That's why we practiced it earlier. Send your left heel towards your right knee as you hinge forward. Extend your arms out as if you were trying to hug your left foot. Bend your elbows, hands come outside your ribs. Extend your arms back, tricep kickbacks. Bend, reach forward. Bend, extend back. Bend, forward, bend, back. Try not to let momentum carry the weights. Use your muscles, core supporting you. Roll your shoulders back. Two more here. Next time your arms are reaching back behind you, turn your palms down, pulse up for 8. Bring hands to heart center, rebend to that left knee, tuck right toes under, come up, crescent. Hinge torso forward, reverse flies. Squeeze your shoulders together at the top. Move this, or make this movement come from your back as well. Inhale, stand upright, straighten both legs. Take your weights, the head of your weights. Drop your right heel down as you forward fold. So we take this active pause, come back to your breath. Listen up for the change. Inhale, look halfway up. Exhale, step right foot up to the top. Big toes touch. Sink your hips down. So you're in somewhat of a chair pose, but your torso is folded forward. We're going to bring palms to face, pull elbows back. Now with you being forward, as you reach your arms towards the earth, you're getting more into your mid-back. Yes, you're still working your biceps and your triceps, but feel this in your back. Tuck your tailbone under. Look towards the top edge of your mat. Inhale, hands come to heart center, sink your hips down. Reach right arm forward, left arm back, and swim it out. So you're switching right arm forward, left arm forward, right arm back, left arm back. 2 ways to do this. You can do it like I'm doing right now, more fluid, like a upside down rainbow. Or if you're feeling maybe angry today, take it into a punch. Just kidding, we're not angry, we're feeling playful. This is great. Either way, take the movement you need. 8 more here. Are you breathing? Is your core engaged? Are your shoulders relaxed? It's funny, because when I'm at this point in class and the teacher's giving me all these cues, I'm not thinking of kind words. Yet here I am doing the same thing to you all. Okay, hands come to heart center, sink lower. Sink your hips as low as your knees, bring your arms out. A little bit more of biceps. Just for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take the heads of your weights, place them on the earth, forward fold. Feel the release in your mid-back. Open your mouth, wiggle your jaw left and right, stick your tongue out as you exhale. It's called lion's breath. It releases stagnant energy. Again, inhale through your nose. Stick out your tongue, make some sounds as you exhale. Inhale, look halfway up. Exhale, steps your right leg back. Pivot towards the right side of your mat. Heels out, toes in. Beautiful. Now you want to have a flat back, engage your core. Stick your glutes up. And you're pressing your heels into the earth and squeezing them towards center. If this is enough, stay here, halfway lifted. If you want a little bit more, take your weights, extend them out, forward, out, forward. This should be getting into your lower back. It's pretty intense. We're just doing 3 more. Bring your hands to heart center, forward fold. You can release your weights, but keep them close by. We'll be using them in a few minutes. Hands can either go underneath your shoulders, you can grab your ankles, or you could reach your fingertips off of the mat behind you. It's a nice stretch for the back that we just worked. Inhale, hands come under your shoulders, look halfway up. Send your heels in, toes out, maybe shortening your stance. Take your weights up, bring them to your hip creases. Check in with your posture, begin to pulse. Now again, we're only here for an hour or so. There's 24 hours in a day. Give it your all now so that you can move on. Press your feet into the earth. Energetically send them together. Drop your hips, tuck your tail. Tuck your belly, drop your shoulders and smile. Stay low, hold here. Hands come either behind your head or I like right outside my head. You're just going to teeter-totter left and right, getting into your obliques a bit. Sink your hips a little bit lower. Lift both heels. Stick your arms out with a bend in your elbows. As you're pulsing down, circle your arms forward. Whole body workout right here. 3, 2, 1. Hold. Flip palms up, down, up, down, up, down. As you're moving your palms up and down, you could get fancy. Drop one heel, then the next. One heel, then the next. If that's too much for you right now, you can either bring both heels up or keep both heels down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Burst up, star pose. Bring hands to heart center. Turn, pivot, release your weights. Bring your hands down to the earth. Send your left leg back, hover. Pulse that left leg up for 10. Take that left knee to left elbow. Extend, bend, extend. Just 8 more. You got this. We made it through the flow. We made it through the weights. Just have a little bit of cardio. 2, 1. Extend that left leg. Take your chaturanga. Up dog. Downward facing dog. When you get there, exhale. HA. Drop down to your knees. Take a water break, towel off. We are mostly done with the hard stuff. A little bit of cardio to send it home, and then we'll have some playtime and stretch. So hydrate, towel, smile. Okay, when you're ready, come into a forearm plank. Bring your arms parallel, like the number 11. Palms can be down, or you can have fists facing each other. You can also interlace your hands. Knees can be down, or you can extend. Hold here. So you're protracting your shoulders, but depressing your shoulders. So protract lifts up, depress sends your shoulders down. Keep that as you begin to teeter-totter on the balls of your feet, moving your body forward and back. Gaze is long, or neck is long. Gaze can be at the top of your mat or between your hands. Pause in your neutral forearm plank. Drop right hip, center, drop left hip, center. Right, center, left, center. Right, left. You can go slow or as fast as you want. Two more. Pause in neutral. Press into your right hand, left hand. Drop down to right forearm, left forearm. Other side, press into left hand, left forearm, right forearm. One more each side. Right hand, right forearm, left forearm. Left hand, left forearm, right forearm. Drop yourself down, Sphinx pose. So you may have to send your hips back. Sphinx pose, your elbows are underneath your shoulders. Press your hands into the earth. Press your forearms towards your belly. Again, that isogenic movement. Feel the stretch in your core. So we're gearing up for the end of class. Think to yourself what brought you here, how you wanted to feel at the end of class, how you felt at the beginning of class. Hopefully you're feeling different now than the beginning of class, but just checking in to see if you are where you want to be. Did you come here wanting to feel powerful and strong and get a good workout in? Did you come here to release extra energy or to gain energy? No right or wrong answer, just observances. Okay, when you're ready, bring your hands to either side of your ribs, setting up for a low cobra. Tops of feet press into the earth. Lift your chest. Tuck your chin. Lower yourself down. Tuck your toes under, lift yourself high plank. Last push, I promise. Few options here. We can go slow or fast. Let's begin with slow jacks. If you want to keep it slow, you step right foot out, right foot in, left foot in, right, right, left, left. You can pick it up by stepping right, right, left, left, or left, left, right, right, or you can take plank jacks. Feet go out, in, about the width of your mat, maybe a little bit wider, for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come to your plank. Slow mountain climbers. Right knee, right elbow. Left knee, left elbow. Either moving slow or jogging it out. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop to your knees. Send your hips back. Child's pose. Keep your hands or your arms in front of you. Bend into your elbows. Hands will come in prayer pose. Maybe walk your elbows forward as you drop your thumbs to the nape of your neck. You're welcome to stay in child's pose. Or if you're craving any playtime, know that we will come down to our backs and stretch out like we always do at the end of class, but if there's any playtime that you were hoping to get to, we have about 2 minutes to play. I know in the past I said I really don't cue headstand or handstand because of safety without me being there to support you, but last class, so many people requested it, I briefly walked you through it. I'm going to do the same with the disclaimer that you're doing this on your own. People, don't be stupid. Don't do something silly and jump into a headstand. I've done it in class. My teacher yelled at me, and I fell out of it backwards and kicked somebody. So don't be me. Okay. If you have something you like to play with it. If you want to come into headstand, I'll show you 2 variations. First one has chaturanga arms. You take your hands the same distance you would for chaturanga, really spread your fingers, put more weight into your finger pads. You should be able to slide a credit card underneath your wrist. You have hardly any pressure on your wrist. You're going to make a triangle, so your head becomes the top of the triangle. As my crown of head lands, my elbows naturally bend to a 90-degree angle. Before you move on, protract your shoulders, puff up your shoulders, squeeze your elbows in. Your head's on the earth, but you don't have a lot of weight on your head. If this is feeling okay, probably the easiest way to get into headstand is tuck your toes, lift your hips. Walk your feet in. See how you feel here. If your head and neck are hurting because you're putting too much pressure, don't go on. If you feel pretty stable, walk one shin or knee to an elbow, walk the other shin to an elbow. Hang out here. This is an inversion. This is a type of headstand. When you're feeling stable, you might tuck your core in like you're drinking a frap. With that core tucked in, press into your hands, lift your legs. You want to flaunt your feet, meaning you're not pointing or flexing, you're pressing through the toe mound. Core is engaged. That's one way to do a headstand. That one is traditionally the second one taught in Ashtanga Yoga. They say that one's more challenging. For me, that one was easier because I have tight shoulders. So that one is good if you have tight shoulders. If you have more open shoulders, just like we did last class, we're going to do the Ijjayi Mukh Genie bound headstand. So this headstand would look like this. If you're sitting, you can practice this as I'm walking you through it, squeezing your shoulders in, pressing through your forearms. In yoga, if you ask for a headstand, this is what the teacher's going to show you, the bound headstand. The one I just showed you, we just did, is called tripod, because you have your two hands and head, 3 points of contact, tripod. Bound headstand or traditional headstand. I dream of genie because you want this distance between your elbows. So when I come down, I dream of genie. You can even do the blink and the head nod. Then you unwind your hands. You interlace your hands. I like to unwind my pinkies and stack one pinky in front of the other because I just don't like that sensation. And then before I do anything, I'm protracting my shoulders. We did that in the beginning of class. I'm depressing my shoulders, so they're puffing up towards the sky, and then I'm sending my shoulders into my back pockets. With this, let me tuck my shirt in. Keep the sensation of protraction and depression. Bring your crown of head to the earth. Make sure that you feel stable here. And we can enter the same way. But before we do, press your forearms into the earth. Lift your head just a bit. See how that feels. And then you can begin to tuck your toes, lift your knees, walk your feet in. If you can stack your hips over your head, it's easier to get into this pose. Bend into one knee, lift that leg, and then very gently come up onto the other foot. Starting with bent knees is easiest. You can keep bent knees. This is an Instagram style. People think it's harder. This is actually the way to get into it. And then when you feel stable, you start to straighten maybe one leg, maybe two. Notice the wobbling, embrace it. Flaunt those feet. Tuck your core. Press, 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 press into your forearms. And then come out whenever. Good counter is child's pose. So if you're still playing, go for it. That was definitely longer than 2 minutes. If you're done, meet in child's pose. Bring your forehead to the earth. Rock your head side to side. And so once you practice, if that's what you choose, an inversion, it's really grounding and calming. And so if you start to practice these and you're able to get into any version where your head is lower than your heart, maybe your legs are lifted, just holding it for a few breaths, I kid you not, it is so calming. It's one of the first things I do when I come home from a stressful day, is I get upside down in the middle of the living room, take a few breaths, and it's like hitting a reset button. If it's not something that you're ever interested in doing, I'm going to show you another safer variation. When you're ready, come up to tabletop. Tip to your hips, send your legs forward. Arms reach out as you slowly lower down. Place your head on the earth. Now, we don't have blocks for class, so I encourage you to send your hands under your hips, creating a diamond. Bend your knees, send them to the sky. Having your hands under your hips becomes uncomfortable, remove them. This is that inversion I'm talking about, where your feet are above your heart. If you want to deepen this pose, but don't want to get on your head, you could take a shoulder stand. So you would start in this pose, Viparita Karani. Press into your hands, lift your hips. You bring your hands to your low back with your fingers facing forward. Sorry, it's kind of hard to talk in this. When you're in shoulder stand, should you choose to go into it, do not turn your head left or right. Press into the space between your shoulders.
Lift your feet higher, flaunt those feet. Core in. So now your heart is over your head. Your feet are over your heart. This is a safer inversion. If you want to stretch your back a bit more, bend your knees. Bend at your hips. Send your feet behind your head. Toes can be tucked, or you can be on the tops of your feet. This is called plow pose. If you're in plow pose, reach your fingertips towards the top of your mat, interlacing them like we did in the beginning of class. See how everything's connected. Take 2 breaths here. And if you're with me in plow and want to move on to a pose called Deaf Man's Pose, unwind your hands, place them on the earth, bend into your knees, and try to clamp your head with your knees, covering your ears. Press into your toe mound slowly, roll out of that. Bring your knees to chest, sway side to side. If any of those poses seemed interesting to you and you want to revisit them or linger in them, just tune out my next few cues. If you're riding with me, flex your feet to grab your big toes or the outer edges of your feet, happy baby. Maybe your body wants movement so you could sway side to side. However, if your body is craving stillness, simply be. You could extend your right leg long, coming into rock star baby. Bend your right knee, extend your left leg long. And then from your happy baby, bring your knees in towards your chest. Drop your legs over to the right. Send your arms out like a T. Press your left shoulder into the earth and look over your left fingertips. Imagine each breath being a detox for your insides. Inhale, bring legs through center. Exhale, drop them over to the left. Maybe sending your hips over to the right first. So when you drop your legs to the left, your spine is still long. Take a cleansing breath. Come back to center. Give yourself a great big hug. Decide if there's any final poses you need to have your practice feel complete. And if you've had enough time playing today, bring your forehead towards your knees. Interlace your forearms on top of each other. Squeeze yourself into the tightest ball you can possibly be. Take an inhale and clench every single muscle in your body, even your face. Then exhale, release every muscle as you extend legs and arms long, maybe coming into more of a starfish shape pose. Shavasana. Imagine your body is lying over quicksand. With each exhale, you sink just a little bit deeper. And you stop at the point where your head is above the quicksand, but your body is suspended and floating inside. You're supported, you're safe, but you're also letting go. As you drift off into your Shavasana,
I want to thank you for letting yourself play. After all, how long has it been since you've played? How long has it been since you played life and had fun with it? Our imaginations are so delightful when we're young. If you were to watch a child sit in the middle of the floor and build castles with blocks, you're just simply having fun. Watch a child's play. Any object can be used for anything, and anything can be fun. Life can pound that out of us if we let it. So breathe life back into your imagination. Come back to life. Let yourself see dragons in clouds and leprechauns in trees, in velvet in a rose. Imagine what it would be like to grab a handful of a cloud and then to touch the tree. Place the rose to your cheek. And so let your imagination come alive. Play the game of what if. What if anything could be anything? What if life could be fun? Playfully, gently bring movement back into your body. Beginning small, gentle movements. And then maybe making those movements a little bit larger. If comfortable, take a good morning stretch, reaching arms and legs in opposite directions. And then tipping over to your favorite side in the fetal position. Linger here. Feel the blood move from your back body towards the earth. Gravity doing its job. When you feel ready, slowly coming to a comfortable seat, allowing your head to be the last thing to arrive. Bringing hands to heart center when you land in that comfortable seat. We'll take a cleansing breath together. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. We inhale, we bring our thumb knuckles to our third eye center. May we all find peace. May we all find happiness. May we all find that playful attitude to carry us through life. I humbly bow to each one of you. Together we say, Namaste. Thank you, yogis. Have a wonderful day, week. I will see you in a little while. Ahui ho.